Picture this. You're sipping your morning coffee on the porch of the off-grid cabin you've owned and built over decades. The wind rustling through the prairie grass. Your rescue dog Voltage chasing shadows nearby. When a woman in designer yoga pants and oversized sunglasses marches up your gravel driveway with two nervous lackeys in tow. She thrusts a bill for nearly $4,000 into your hand, claiming your eyesore of solar panels and workshop is tanking her HOA's precious property values. The punchline: you're 3 acres of raw Colorado land, bought back in 1987 for every penny you had as a 25-year-old electrician, predates her fancy Meadowbrook Estates development by over 30 years, and county records, original deeds, survey stakes, and exclusion clauses prove it was never part of her association. Her name was Karen Whitmore. Yes, really. And she embodied every stereotype of the power-hungry suburban transplant. Fresh from Orange County, real estate agent turned HOA president, driving a spotless white BMW that never touched dirt roads, with a husband owning dental practices, kids in private school, and an entitlement so thick you could smell her aggressive floral perfume from across the valley. She measured neighbors' grass with rulers, filed complaints over garbage cans visible 47 minutes past pickup, and treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. But your land sat on the original county road, surrounded by what used to be empty prairie until California developers turned it into luxury mountain living. For 100 manicured homes, artificial ponds, $800,000 price tags. Your modest cabin, with solar panels, a workshop full of renewable energy projects, vegetable gardens that could feed half the county, was explicitly carved out of every development agreement. Photos, permits, a 35-year paper trail confirmed it. Nobody told Karen. The harassment started innocently enough: a sweet smile, a neighborhood survey. Days later, she returned with her covenant compliance committee, 2 polo shirt guys looking like hostages, heels clicking like gunfire across your gravel. These solar panels diminish adjacent values by $50,000 each, she declared, waving a binder. You showed your 1987 deed with the exemption. She barely glanced. Legal loopholes won't protect you forever. This is about community standards. Community standards from someone whose HOA was built around your existing property. Then the war escalated. Measuring tapes on your fence at dawn. County complaints claiming zoning violations. Hilarious, since agricultural zoning doesn't evaporate from McMansions. Official letters demanding $500 monthly dues retroactive to 2019, $2,000 for an HOA you never joined. Petitions about your dangerous workshop, solar batteries that might explode, noise pollution from tools she'd clearly never heard on a real job site. Facebook posts photographing your place from her car, making an organized setup look like a disaster zone. 63 neighbors you'd never met suddenly demanded action against the eyesore. You traced the circuit back to the source, like any good electrician. County records revealed her real estate license had prior violations for misrepresenting boundaries. HOA insurance excluded disputes with pre-existing non-members. A FOIA request showed her husband's dental practice owed $127,000 in back taxes. Desperation for cash explained a lot. Security cameras caught her safety patrol, trespassing, photographing windows, testing latches. Her incorporation docs had a fatal flaw. Your parcel was never legally included. Boilerplate copy-paste without checking surveys. Zero authority. Less than your dog had. The local paper ran the story after you sent them screenshots and your deed. Rural resident fights, HOA overreach. Karen demanded a retraction, threatened to pull advertising. The editor published her letter next to supportive ones from fed-up neighbors. Support snowballed. Mrs. Henderson brought cookies, shared how Karen harassed her vegetable garden. More neighbors came forward. The veteran with his pickup, the teacher with wildflowers, the retiree who painted his fence brown. Your porch became a gathering spot for the first time since cancer took your wife, Sarah, 2 years earlier. You'd sit there evenings planning additions you'd never build. Now it felt alive again. Karen escalated to a full lawsuit. Nuisance, health hazard, $35,000 damages, demands to tear down everything. She weaponized county building departments, organized daily drive-bys for her evidence file. But you called in reinforcements, a retired municipal lawyer who laughed at the sloppy work. Grandfather permits under state law. Countersuit for harassment, defamation, emotional distress. The knockout. Developer Tom Morrison confirmed your exclusion, faxed original survey maps. HOA owned nothing but debt. Common areas never properly transferred. Footage of trespassing sealed it. Newspaper headlines. HOA president caught trespassing. More allies. Tribal advocate Marcus Littlefeather uncovered unresolved Arapaho Nation treaty claims from 1878 on the development land. Your parcel wisely excluded. Financial forensics exposed $312,000 embezzled. Fake vendors, shell companies, funds diverted to her real estate. Husband's practice, Hawaii vacations. Forged signatures on incorporation docs. Bribery attempts caught on hidden camera. False police reports. Even a pathetic protest with 7 people holding signs. Community flipped. Board members resigned. Insurance canceled. Real estate license suspended. Husband divorced her after discovering forged signatures, making him complicit. Foreclosure on her house. In court, the packed room smelled of old wood and anticipation. Karen arrived late, hollow-eyed, with her 4th lawyer. Her case crumbled. No proof of jurisdiction. Your team presented deeds, footage, forensics, treaty issues. She melted down, screaming about property rights terrorists. The judge, 30 years on the bench, called it the most egregious HOA overreach he'd seen. Ruled no authority over your land. Dissolved the HOA on the spot pending federal probe. Awarded you $127,000 in fees and damages. Referred for criminal charges. Embezzlement, fraud, conspiracy. Karen got 18 months federal prison. Restitution she couldn't pay. Lost everything. The development reformed into a voluntary association. No fees, no tyrants, just neighbors helping neighbors. Your off-grid setup became a model for sustainable living, featured nationally. A scholarship fund, Jake's Law in Colorado for anti-HOA abuse penalties, YouTube channel sharing tips. Kids visit for renewable energy lessons, laughter-filling spaces grief once held. Sarah always said, good people find each other when times get tough, and bullies defeat themselves with enough rope. Karen proved it spectacularly. Your quiet valley now thrives on mutual respect, not artificial rules. Voltage still chases fireflies at dusk, and the porch feels like home again, stronger, surrounded by a real community. As with these entertaining HOA tales, it's a fictionalized narrative inspired by common real-life frustrations. Overreach, fraud, justice, but not based on specific events or people. Pure satire and catharsis. Drop your wildest neighbor nightmare below and subscribe for more satisfying comeuppance.